you were talking about Taylor Swift, and that raises an issue I want to discuss with Mike Muse, who's a Sirius XM radio host. And Mike, Taylor Swift clearly trying to get young people out to vote. Traditionally, young people talk a good game but don't vote. Do we think this year is going to be different?
This year is absolutely going to be different. I think that we've been underestimating the youth vote. I think traditionally, we always talk about in the midterm elections, the young people do not come out and vote. I think this is going to be that election cycle that we're going to talk about. That was a transformative year. We're going to see young people engage at higher rates. Young people are more nuanced than we give them credit for. They care about more issues than what we think that they just care about. A lot of times they want to peg the young vote just as an environment. But they forget about the young people are really interested in technology. They're really interested in AI. They're really interested in the future of work. That's a huge part of the movement now to really get young people interested. And in particular, entrepreneurship in particular. A lot of young people are really interested in entrepreneurship. They want to know, how can I get access to capital? How can I start funding my business, in particular out of college? And what's interesting, Dan, in particular, I do a lot of conversations about the Agricultural Committee, and Senator Gillibrand is really interested in crop insurance. New
York Senator Democrat.
Yes.
Kirsten Gillibrand. She's somebody you talk about a lot on your show.
Yeah, I actually had her on my show. And so what she and I talk about is young people didn't talk about entrepreneurship. The most trendiest entrepreneurship endeavor they're interested in is actually craft beer. If you think about craft beer, you never think about craft beer when it comes to Agriculture Committee. But she's been working with the Agriculture Committee and the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, to really pass crop insurance, to really stir growth in the state of New York for the crops in order to help spur the new economy for millennials, in particular the millennials are interested in craft beer. And so I think it's time for us to start widening the scope and platform of what young people are interested in so that we can keep the momentum going, not just in the 2020 presidential election cycle, but also in the midterm cycle.
When I was young, my principal interest was beer as well. I'm just kidding. Let's just talk a little bit about the extraordinary nature of this election in terms of folks who are coming out to run. Just some stats here. Number of women running, 276 women running. That's a record. Number of non-white candidates, 210. We've got the potential this year to have the first Native American governor in the state of Idaho, first transgender, first Muslim women in Congress, first Native American women in Congress. What is going on here with the diversity that we're seeing?
I think that's why we're going to see record numbers of turnouts as a result of that. People are starting to see themselves finally in elected officials. It no longer is just this older white man that's running. So when you see a more diverse platform, also to a diverse candidate, then you identify with those individuals. So it makes you want to participate in the electorate to make sure that they win. I think that for now, because of technology, actually, technology has allowed us to have a voice. We're so used to now communicating on Twitter. We're so used to now communicating on Instagram. We feel empowered by that now. And we feel a disruption occurring that you don't have to be this traditional individual who went to law school to run for political office. You don't have to be this traditional individual who now works on Wall Street, right? And so what a political candidate looks like now has changed. And I think that's emboldening people. And I think we're seeing the results and the success of that, which is even encouraging individuals more.
But I mean, I have to imagine at the root of some of this is Trump. That's causing a lot of these people to run. I mean, not only everything you just said about the emboldening impact of technology, but especially when we talk about women coming out to run. Not all of them Democrats, but a significant percentage of them are Democrats, and we know that Trump has not done well historically in the polls with women.
You're absolutely right. There is a Trump effect that's allowing more women to run, but I also think that we're just in that place now in America where we see the potential, right? We no longer see this set trajectory that used to be very traditional. And I think we want to have more ownership of our democracy. I think it actually stirred with the presidency of Barack Obama. I think we began to see what is possible. So for the first time, if you see a black man being elected president and that the citizens of the state of Iowa will actually vote for him, then I think you say, okay, wait a minute, maybe I too can run too as well. The Trump effect is there too as well, because now for the first time, America wanted a businessman, right? Or a business person, I should say. And so they were looking at a candidate who wasn't traditional. Now, what they got is one thing, right? But they were looking out of the box, this unconventional notion of campaigning. And as we see different women run, as we see different minorities run, the styling of their campaign is different, right? They're not doing this Manchurian candidate, this cookie cutter candidate, but they're seeing more authenticity out at play.
So glad to have you here tonight, Mike, and I know we're going to be bringing you back throughout the evening, but thank you very much.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.